Hey everybody, it's time for news! It's the GameCast NewsCast ready for a broadcast.
Welcome back everybody to the GameCast NewsCast, a very special Christmassy edition of the GameCast NewsCast.
Woo!
And joining me, that lovely woo there, was Max, head of the review team, as usual.
Hey guys, I wouldn't call that lovely, but hey.
And no Vox, because he's just somewhere, again, on drugs probably, in the street. Maybe in a bin somewhere. I don't know. I've got a cold and I'm still here. So today we are going to talk about one thing. We had the Game Awards last week and the Ready Player One trailer, and today we are just going to go through myself and Max's Game of the Year, and what we will also do is give a little shout out to everyone else in the Gamecast circle who put forward their Game of the Year in the chat. We have on our lovely Discord, which you can join right now with the link in the description.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where that voice came from. We asked in our little one of our private chats what people's games of the year were, so we are going to go through those. Should we do that first, do you think?
Yes.
Okay, lovely. So Sully put forward Horizon Zero Dawn as his Game of the Year, which I said last week was very underrated in the Game Awards section. So
I know it's also one of the only games this year he's gotten to play.
Well, yeah, he's played Destiny 2 and a couple of the other big ones, and that's about it. But he has been very, very busy setting up the Gamecast network, so you know.
Exactly, yeah. Can't blame him.
Yeah, exactly. So 2 years ago, this was a glimmer in his eye, and now it's a thing that's happening.
That's crazy.
I know. What else do we have? Who else do we have? We have Alex, head of the Let's Play team, has Mario Odyssey, Zelda Breath of the Wild, and Cuphead as his top 3 of the year.
All 3 solid choices.
Yeah, not bad. We've got exactly the same for Gaming Pastime, very prolific reviewers on our channel. And Machen has put forward Persona 5 and Cuphead. That's very him, I'm not surprised. Also not bad choices. Another one I was expecting anyway was Orange of the review team, who put forward South Park, The Fractured Butthole. Really not surprising.
Amazing though.
Exactly. And we have Mark of the review team put forward Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, and Nier Automata.
I really want to play Nier.
I played 2 hours of it. I did the first mission 5 times, and because you can't save until after the until the end of this big first bit, which is quite long, yeah, if you die, you have to go right back to the start of the game. I did that twice, and I was like, I can't be bothered, and I've not gone back to it yet.
Do you plan on going back to it?
At some point, yeah, just not at the moment.
Fair.
With those out of the way, that was everyone who actually said something. Those are the most active people on the chat anyway. Let us go through what games we enjoyed of the year, and then finally what games we would put as our games of the year between us. So, Max, why don't you go first?
Okay, well, let's see. I didn't get to play a lot of the, stereotypical games of the year this year. But I guess stereotypical isn't the right word, but, the popular games of the year this year, like Persona, or much of Zelda, much of Mario. Didn't get to play Nier, obviously. Didn't play Horizon. Played Cuphead, but the thing that's crazy about that is, despite that, there's still a ridiculous amount of games that could be considered Game of the Year that came out this year, which is just absolutely insane that, my list and other people's lists of Games of the Year could be ones that, weren't even in, top 10s on other sites and stuff. Absolutely insane. I'm also more of an indie-focused gamer, so that's part of the reason as well. But I'd have to say the first game that really, really hooked me this year, and still to this day, I'm even playing it right now, is Dead Cells. This is a game that came out in early access back in May, maybe June, maybe a bit earlier than that. It was around that time frame. And basically it's a Castlevania kind of revamp. It's another take on the Castlevania type style of gaming, Metroidvania. But the thing it has going for it, I guess, is it's incredibly difficult, which a lot of those games are, but this one's I want to kind of compare it to Dark Souls, not because it's like, oh, difficult, Dark Souls is difficult, but because it seems to take just a lot of inspiration from this game in terms of art style, in terms of the way you move, even though it's 2D. Like, you have like dodge rolling, you have invincibility frames. A lot of the attack animations are kind of similar to attacks in Dark Souls. It's just almost as if you took Dark Souls and put it into a 2D plane and then threw in like a Metroidvania style like level design, even though the art style is a lot more like Dark Souls. It's really interesting. And I'm just a huge fan of that. There are tons of quality of life little touches here and there. You know how like Stardew Valley was like kind of the epitome of like the Harvest Moon, like the kind of the life sim games, because it like took all the problems people had with it and fixed them, so I was adding new features. This is that type of game in like the Metroidvania series, or the Metroidvania style of games. This is like that game that like fixes all of the problems and just trying to be like the quote unquote perfect Metroidvania game. So definitely check that out. Still in early access. They've come out with a bunch of updates since, and it's kind of a new game at this point. A whole bunch of new stuff. So that's cool. Let's see. Another game, definitely I'd have to say Observer. Observer is a walking sim, kind of. It's a horrific walking sim by the guys who made Layers of Fear. I forget the studio name, but it's a cyberpunk walking simulator horror game where you play as a character called an observer who is kind of like a detective in the future. And what the observer does is he goes to crime scenes and he plugs himself into the brains of like dead people, or even the people could be alive, but generally they do it to dead people at the crime scene. And you kind of relive their past memories, but like always like kind of fucked up. Like the world that you enter isn't like normal. Like a lot of bad stuff can happen because these people are usually very traumatized. Like the world can collapse, like monsters kind of come through. It's really interesting. It's a very, very dark game, and the main character is voiced by the villain in the original Blade Runner. I forget his name right now, but so that's really cool because the game is like obviously heavily inspired by Blade Runner. So it's really cool they were able to get a voice actor from the series. But I don't know, it's a game that really surprised me. It throws a lot of choice at you, especially towards the end of the game, and it's just a very kind of it tells a story of a very dystopian kind of fucked up world in the future, and something that seems like could be very real in the near future. And I always like that kind of stuff. I don't know why, that stuff is just really appeals to me. So that's definitely a game that appealed to me. But another one is Evil Within 2, believe it or not. Especially because I love the first game so much, even though it had a lot of flaws. And a lot of people were mad that Evil Within wasn't a survival horror game, which, like, I get. They were expecting a survival horror game because it's like the guy who made Resident Evil, like, it was his, like, kind of comeback to gaming. And I'd honestly call it more of like a third-person action game with, like, thriller and psychological horror elements, but it's definitely not a horror game. But it still was kind of rough around the edges, it was very linear. The gameplay was kind of rough and everything like that. But the second game kind of took that and like fleshed it all out and made this into like almost an RPG in a way. It fixed a lot of like the linearity. It made the game kind of open world, but had a lot of the same like awesome, intense combat. It told a much better story. It fleshed out and answered a lot of the questions from the first game. And I don't know, it was just a really cool experience, and it ended up reviewing incredibly well. Like I'm not the only one who thinks this. Like people ended up loving this game, even though unfortunately it didn't even make it into the top 10 in the MPDs in the month that it came out. Same with Wolfenstein 2, both published by Bethesda, which is kind of scary. But yeah, they made it into like 11 and 12 respectively, if I'm not mistaken. But so yeah, that sucks. So hopefully we'll see new entries in both of those franchises, even though they didn't sell super well. Let's see, Neo. I got to play Neo, which may straight up be my game of the year. I'm pretty sure Neo is my game of the year. I got to play the complete edition on PC, and I'm a huge Souls fan. I'm always playing like all those different types of action RPGs that I can find, the third-person action RPGs, and Neo is the first one I've played that really takes the Souls formula and like truly mixes it up and adds a whole bunch of stuff to it, to the point where like you almost can't even compare it to the Souls franchise, which is really, really cool. And I'm the type of person, I know a lot of people like say, oh, it's like a Souls game. There are very few games you can actually compare to like the Souls games that are actually like Souls-likes. And there's like, that's like the Surge, Lords of the Fallen, and then this game, pretty much. And that there's of course a few others, but those are like the main ones. And to me, Neo is just like the prime example of it. You know, it adds all sorts of different weapon types, but this time around you're encouraged to really use all of them and not just build your character around like one weapon type, which is really cool. Each weapon has like multiple different stances that you could switch between at any point. You have like a superpower. You have a whole bunch of different items that you're constantly using. The game is way harder than any of the Souls games. Like Souls, especially Dark Souls 3, like at that point I was getting through most of the game without dying too much. Like it got to the point where it was still like challenging, but it was nowhere near like my first time playing the first game where it was just death after death and like strenuous kind of stuff. Neo brought that back. Neo was a bitch. Oh my god, I had so much trouble playing it. It sucks because I had to review it, which like I'm happy to review it, but like since I had to get it out or beat it at somewhat of a decent amount of time, I ended up summoning people like after like 5 or 6 tries with a boss just so I can actually progress with the game, which I normally wouldn't have done. But the bosses are so hard. Like I had to summon a lot of the time, and the end boss was just one of the most ridiculous bosses I've ever seen in one of these types of games. So that was really cool. It just adds so many little quality of life touches. There's fleshed out multiplayer. There's like a whole second game's worth of content once you beat the game, which already takes like 60 hours. It's fully voiced in Japanese. You know, it's based in a lot of old Japanese folklore from like the 1600s, which is really cool. I don't know. I just thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a game I didn't really expect to love as much as I did. Yeah, and then I guess I'd have to say some honorable mentions are the Surge, like I said earlier. That's a really cool Souls-like game. You know, it just kind of came and went, but I enjoyed my time with it. Wolfenstein 2 was really cool. I don't think it lives up to the first one, though. I ended up finishing that game with kind of like a hollow feeling. And I think the only reason for that is just because the first one was so good and it tried to top that in a lot of ways instead of kind of just being its own thing. So that kind of sucks. Still entirely worth playing. Awesome game, but I don't know. It's just the first one was just that much better. It was just that much more of a complete package. I don't know. That's all I can think of right now off the top of my head. There's definitely more. I wanted to play Divinity Original Sin 2. I only got 8 hours into that, but I know that would be one of my games of the year. I still plan on playing that at some point. Game's fucking awesome. Cuphead, I want to play more of. Cuphead and Sonic Mania, I were saving until like Christmas time where I don't have a lot of work, so I can just play and enjoy those games. So those are 2 definitely worth checking out. But yeah, I'd have to say that's about it for me that I can think of.
Right. Now I actually have to think of some.
I guess Fortnite too. Fortnite's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah. You played a lot of that this year, to the best of my knowledge.
Yeah, definitely.
A game that's it's very recent, but I'm really enjoying it. It's called Opus Magnum. Mm-hmm. I did it on the release radar a couple of weeks ago, and it's basically a sort of alchemy-based puzzle game, and you have to move around different elements on this board, make a product, and get that product around. And it's really complex the way that it's all put together. It's like very easy to learn and hard to master, and there's some insane workshop stuff on here. Like, it's amazing to look at all this stuff and go, how? Why? It is genuinely beautiful. The funny thing is, though, I think on like the workshops, I don't think you can actually upload anything to the workshop unless you can actually complete it yourself.
Oh, that's how it should be. That's like Mario Maker.
I think so. I might be wrong, but I really hope I'm not wrong. But yeah, I think you literally cannot upload to the workshop unless you can solve your own puzzle, because that would be really dumb if you couldn't.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh bloody hell! Some of the stuff on This works. It's insane. I was just looking at the main puzzles like, madness. So I'm really enjoying that game at the moment. The thing is, I've got to think, a lot of the games I've been playing are from last year. I've been playing so much Planet Coaster, but that was 2016.
Yeah, I had a lot of those this year too.
Yeah. Steam library. That will help me work out my favourite games of the year. I am very...
Pirate?
I enjoyed it a lot, but I don't know if I'd call it one of my favourites of the year.
Okay.
Okay,
fair.
I don't know if it would actually go up there for me, which is a weird thing to say, because, I really enjoyed it when I played it.
I get that. There are definitely games I have too like that.
The new Pokemon game, that goes on the list just because it's new Pokemon and it's me and it's still pretty damn good. So,
Fair.
It fixes quite a few of the things that that Sun and Moon got a little bit wrong. I don't know. It's changed bits up and it's quite good, so I'm not going to complain. Heat Signature. How did I forget Heat Signature? Yes, that game. It's a game by Tom Francis, who made Gunpoint, and he also did a little game. He did a tiny game at the start of the year, a tiny free game called Morph Blade. Actually, no, it's not free. It was like 40 pence. But that's also a very fun little thing. But yes, Heat Signature, it's basically Hotline Miami in space with randomly generated ships. Yeah, with randomly generated missions and ships and loads of upgrades that you can apply and character permadeath. All very fun, lots of lovely things. It's a really good game. It's really intense as well. I think I played it at the start of a meeting and I had to stop, didn't I? If I remember rightly, a team leader meeting.
I think so too, yeah. I do remember this.
It's a very intense game.
Fair.
Yeah. See, what I could normally do is go to the installed section and just go, what have I played there? But because I had to reformat my PC recently, I don't have everything that I've played this year installed still. What else did I... Tokyo 42, which is Grand Theft Auto isometrical. One of the best looking games I have played in my life. It is the best art direction.
Did you enjoy the game overall, though? I'm curious.
Yes, I did. I did enjoy the game. Like, the plot was a bit sort of... It was there.
Right. Yeah.
But, yeah, overall, I enjoyed the game. Like, the gameplay itself is sort of... It's quite challenging because it's isometric. But I enjoyed it a lot. It was very fun. Another one that I put in the chat, Hollow Knight. I forgot about that. Which is, Metroidvania bug-themed Dark Souls. It's real good. They gave out a free expansion recently as well. Well, not recently.
No kidding.
It's called the Grim Troop. So, yeah, definitely that's a game worth playing. The only reason I stopped playing it, I think, is because it bugged out and wouldn't launch. It kept crashing. Yeah, it wouldn't. It kept crashing on launch, so I just stopped playing it. So I might try and play it again. But yeah, very good game. Definitely worth playing. Mario Odyssey, I might put up there.
Right.
Been playing a lot of that the last few weeks. I've not beaten it yet. I'm just really enjoying it.
Noob. I'm just kidding.
I don't. Well, for one, I don't play games obsessively.
Right.
And I just sort of went through it slowly. I've been in New Donk City for about half an hour, and I just sort of slowly make my way through things. I'm one of those, I actually try and get all the moons that I can see on a level. So I don't just get however many you need to continue and then go, I'm like, no, there's more level. I need to just go and see all of that. Yeah. And so
I play that way too with a lot of things. Yeah. It's so fun.
I don't know if I've missed any, and I'm sure I'll find out.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm really enjoying Mario Odyssey. That's a really good game. I got Mario vs. Rabbids because it was on sale, actually, very recently.
Nice. I can't wait to hear about that. Yeah.
It's a very good game. Like, I'm surprised at
Didn't they just come out with a free expansion, too? There were, free levels or something?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, they did. Do you know what I just noticed? Sorry, I was
What?
scrolling through my Steam library. On Steam, if you own Star Wars Battlefront 2, the original,
Oh, yeah.
it's been renamed to Star Wars Battlefront 2 in brackets Classic 2005.
Yep.
Aww.
Yep.
That's a
The better
good
one.
game.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
the actually decent one with, like, they patched an online in. They literally, like, there's a community-made online server thing.
Yep. Because what was it? GameSpy went down or something?
Yeah, there is those servers can hold 120 people at once per game. That
That's
is
so cool.
insane. Tilt Brush, I know that came out last year, but that's a very good game. Tiny Town VR is genuinely adorable. I love it.
That
It's
sounds
the
wonderful.
best thing. It's basically just you're making a little town diorama and you can fiddle with literally everything.
Okay. Oh, that's right up
Like
your alley.
You can, yeah, it's like Lego. Like, you
Yeah.
can literally take a person, you can position their arms and legs and put them in an exact place. It's real good. You can also scale everything as well to how you want it to look. It's so much fun. I got a preset of, like, the White House or whatever. And I just made a guy really massive and just made him sit on top of it. Just
That's hilarious.
Hello, I am now the president.
That's wonderful.
So that's something that's really fun and worth playing. Job Simulator, I know, came out last year. That is an amazingly fun game, except for the retail bit because I work in retail and it's soul crushing. Literally, I played it. I was like, "This is too close to reality. I don't like it.
I don't want to play this in a game. That's funny.
Literally, I was sort of halfway through the retail bit, and I was just like, "Why am I doing this? I
I'm not
came
getting
home
paid for it.
No, exactly. I came home for this. What am I doing?"
That's so funny. Oh my god.
Oh dear. Oh yeah, Desert Bus VR came out, by the way. Do you know what Desert Bus is?
I don't believe. Oh, is that game where you're like
You're
running...
driving a bus for you're driving a bus for literally 8 hours.
Oh my god. No, this is not the game I'm thinking
From
of.
Arizona to Nevada. It was in a Penn and Teller pack that was never officially released, and you literally have to drive for 8 hours from Arizona to Nevada on a straight road, but your bus veers to the right, so you have to keep correcting. You can't just like weigh the the forward down.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you have to actually play it for 8 hours. And
This
they
is
made
one
a
of your
VR
games of the
version.
year.
No, I just thought it was worth mentioning. Yeah, they made a VR version of that, so it's basically the same, except you have to do it in VR. It's not something you want to do on your own, I don't think. I think that's something you have to do with friends.
Yeah, definitely. Make it a drinking game somehow.
Yeah. I might try and do it at some point in the future. Like, I might do it with, like, people coming on and off chat for me in Discord.
Right.
I don't know. Something like that,
That would
something
be
to
much
keep my
easier.
sanity. That'd be quite fun.
That would be something
yeah.
fun to live stream.
I wouldn't say live stream, maybe. I'd just sort of...
No, if everyone
Okay.
jumps in like and stuff, I think that'd be interesting.
Oh, yeah. I suppose so. Anything else that I enjoyed particularly this year? Lego
Brawlhalla.
Worlds came out this year. Oh yes, Brawlhalla came out of early access. I've enjoyed that a lot. That's a very good free Smash Bros alternative. Lego Worlds came out of early access. That's a very, very good game. I am a big fan of Lego Worlds. In fact,
I've heard
the video for Lego Worlds on my channel is probably one of my favorite ones that I've ever done. Just Cause 3. When did Just Cause 3 come out? That came out in 2015.
Late. Wait, 2015? I was going to say late last year.
I know!
Holy shit.
I was going to say late 2016. I was like, oh, I could just count that. I was like, oh, no, I really can't.
Wow. That's insane.
depressing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Holy
jeez.
shit.
I feel old. Really,
Yeah,
really
same.
old. Oh.
We are old, Snowy. Even though we're the youngest people in the server, we're old.
Yeah, that's how it works. I can't think of anything else. So that's probably about right then for Game of the Year for me. Late addition to my Game of the Year, Gang Beasts, a game I did not know had come out of early access on Steam, is basically you're jelly men and you fight. You have to get each other off the arena, and it is amazing. It's so stupid and it's so fun, and it's out of early access, and we all need to go and buy this and play it. It's so good. Here's a slight discussion point then. You know that there's a new Obsidian RPG?
No, I didn't. That's cool.
That's a thing that's in development, apparently.
Is it like a new IP, or is it...
It just says an in development role-playing game. However, the publisher is a subsidiary of Take-Two, the parent company of Rockstar.
Yeah.
And we know what they've been doing this last year.
Hey, they haven't been as bad as everyone else.
They've still been pretty fucking bad.
No, they have, I know.
So my question to you, Max, is do you think that Take-Two will try and ruin the new Obsidian RPG with its awful tactics? Because if I remember rightly, Take-Two said that it was looking to get microtransactions and or loot boxes into all of its games going forwards.
Well, then yeah, I'm going to guess so. And that really sucks because Obsidian always gets fucked over when they use a publisher. They always get fucked over. Like, their game always has to be rushed or something like that. Like, when they come out with Pillars of Eternity, which was great because it was kickstarted and they didn't have to rush it out because of a publisher. Like, every other time, especially Fallout New Vegas is the infamous one, where the reason it released as such a buggy mess is because Bethesda, like, forced them to put it out way earlier than it needed to be, and they didn't even end up getting a bonus for, like, that Metacritic bonus or whatever. They missed it by, like, one number. And
I remember hearing something about that, yeah.
Dude,
that was real bullshit. Shady.
It's such bullshit. I mean, I think that stuff happens a lot. This one was just really publicized. Yeah. Man, it's shitty.
A little
it really
bit.
Sucks.
Little bit, yeah.
So yeah, they'll probably fuck with it, which I don't know. I still have faith in it though. I feel like Obsidian can still make it great.
Hopefully. We can only hope, really, can't we, I suppose?
Yeah. Definitely.
So yeah, I think they probably will try and fuck with it.
Yeah.
Eurogamer apparently say no, and according to a statement by Obsidian, they're apparently very excited about the upcoming RPG, and
well, yeah.
Well, yeah, you'd hope so. What we did want to talk about was a question a lot of you have been raising. Will this upcoming game feature any loot boxes or microtransactions? The answer is simply no microtransactions of any kind in our game. Remember that statement just in case.
Yeah, we will see on that one.
Yes, because you might want that to happen, Mr. What's your name? Leonard Boyarsky. You might well want that to happen, and I might well believe that you are honest. However, I do not believe that Take-Two will not try and put them in.
Right. That sucks, 'cause Obsidian doesn't need to get screwed over again.
No,
Alpha Protocol
had enough.
That happened with that game too. It's apparently still like worth playing, but like it's almost an unplayable mess a lot of the time. But like apparently the story is like that good, and there's some really interesting ideas like that. It's worth like pushing through that.
Yeah.
To play.
Oh, that's all right then.
But still, like that's what happened with them is they got fucked over because they had to like their dev time got like cut in half or something. It's just God.
Yay.
Like, of course, it's never as simple as like we want it to be, but still, just their track record is just it sucks because their games are so good and they're good. It's just the publisher.
Yeah, exactly. So that brings us to the end of a rather short-ish episode of the GameCast NewsCast, and just a quick little happy Christmas to everybody on. Everyone who watches this video before Christmas or around the Christmas season, happy Christmas. Hope you have a lovely time, get some lovely things, etc. And I'm very much looking forward to sort of coming back after our little Christmas break and just sort of getting on with stuff and making some quality content. I'm looking forward to that.
Get that live stream going.
yeah, hopefully we can actually get some stuff to you, because that would be pretty amazing.
That would
So
be amazing.
we'll see. But anyway, getting past that, I'd like to thank my co-host, as always, Max and Mole.
Hey, you're welcome.
Oh dear. And I would like to thank myself. No one else to thank because Vox isn't fucking here. Oh well. Yes, thank you all very much for watching, and I will hopefully see you soon in the new year, if not slightly before, for news, reviews, Let's Plays, podcasts, lots of lovely things. All of your gaming needs can be found at GameCast after our Christmas break. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Say goodbye, Max.
Goodbye, Max.
God damn it.